Hey guys, on this week's episode of Taming Tumbleweed, we've got a really fun video because we're going to try to find out whether this truck, no, not this truck, we know this truck in tow, but this truck, the new Ford F-150 Lightning, can actually be used around town to tow. Now, we did a video not too long ago where we took this Lightning and compared it to a traditional truck towing a 6,000 pound trailer, and the results were, let's say, disappointing. The Lightning could barely get about 100 miles of range. Now today here in Boulder, we just took delivery of a new Polaris XP Scrambler 1000. My God, that's a mouthful. Anyway, we're gonna take it up to the ranch to test it, but to do that, we need to do two things. First, we need to take this truck and drive it to the ranch to pick up the trailer. Then we have to come back here, load up the vehicle, and then take it back up to the ranch. Now, that's gonna be an interesting trip. So overnight, I charged this up to 90%. And we're going to see just how much power we use and just how much power is left after we go there and back with the new XP 1000 Scrambler. All right, so here are the numbers for today's Taming Tumbleweed video. But before we get to those numbers, let's just agree to call the Scrambler, let's just agree to call the Scrambler an ATV. Instead of whatever the heck it is called. So we just washed the truck, so now we're at 88%. And from here to the ranch, it's 23 miles. And if I do the math right, we're gonna have to go there once, come back, pick it up. So 4 times 23 miles is about 100 miles, and we'll be towing a trailer for 50 of that. So the question is, how much energy are we going to have? And let me reset my trip odometer as well so that we can have that exactly. So there's really 3 numbers that I'm interested in. The first number is this one. How many miles per kilowatt hour are we getting when we're not towing, and how many are we getting when we're towing? And actually we can do 3 things. We can get it when we're not towing, we can get it with an empty trailer, and then of course with a loaded trailer. So those are the 3 numbers that we'll have at the end of this video. Then we'll have this number as well, that is how much range is left when we're done with this job. And then finally, how much battery is left at the end of all this. And what we're trying to figure out here is, yes, if you're trying to tow cross country with an electric truck, you're probably going to struggle because, simply put, it uses twice as much energy as it normally would. So the EPA says that this extended range Ford Lightning has a complete and total range of 320 miles. Now you may be wondering why that's 185, and that's basically a guesstimate based on how we've been driving, and this has just come back all the way from Alaska with a camper on it, so don't look at that number. It's just a guess and it's not realistic. But now that we've set the trip odometer, the truck should learn that we're no longer pushing a big old pop-up 4-wheel camper into the wind, but now we're just driving it as it was made in the factory. And so we're going to hopefully learn whether, if you're a contractor and let's say you've got to pull a lawnmower, or if you're pulling a small trailer because you're on site building something, if a Lightning will work for you. And then the other number that we're going to need is how much weight we're towing. So the ATV is basically 900 pounds, and our trailer, and we've got 2 of them. We've got an aluminum trailer and we've got our old metal trailer. Which one do you want to take, Alex?
I think the aluminum one, I don't know, might make more sense for weight, but it's huge for a tiny little ATV, so I think the heavier one.
Yeah, so we'll take the heavier trailer. So that's 3,000 pounds. So we'll basically be towing 4,000 pounds. So 3,000 pounds to come back to the office, and then 4,000 pounds when we add, or give or take 4,000 pounds. 100 pounds when we load up the ATV and bring it back to the ranch. So I think that's a really good test. That's 100 miles of driving around town in mixed traffic, and this is something that I think somebody who would be using this truck as a work truck would use. Now, there is a pro version of this which starts at, and this is also interesting, they just raised the price by $7,000. So it used to start at around 40, and now it's 47 if you want a 23 model. So it's no longer as affordable, but you know, it could be potentially a contractor truck, even at $47,000, but then you get potentially a rebate of $7,000, so it might be $40,000 again after the tax credit. But that depends on Congress, whether they pass the current bill, and then of course depends on what's in the bill. And right now in the bill it says that the battery has to be mainly sourced, or the materials in the battery have to be mainly sourced in America, and the current batteries come from China. It's a mess, but we put all that aside. We will find out if this truck works as an around-the-truck towing vehicle, and I think that's a good thing to find out. So sit back and relax. Let's hit the road. Let's go pick up the trailer and bring it back to the office, and we'll see what kind of miles per kilowatt hour we're getting just driving 23 miles empty. We are rolling up to Tumbleweed Ranch, and we've gone about 22 miles, so it is about 23 miles from the office. And the nice number is right there, 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's gone up a lot. And you can do the math. With 130 kilowatt hour battery, multiply that by 2.7, and you're going to get your range. Now, in real world terms, we're down to 82% battery. We started at 88%, so we used exactly 6% of the battery to go about 23 miles. And each of these segments is going to be interesting, because this next segment we're going to load up the trailer and we'll see what number that drops to and what number this drops to when we're towing a 3,000 pound empty trailer. And then when we of course get to the office, we'll load up the ATV, and then we'll see what happens when we add about 1,000 pounds of weight to it. And then we got to drive back to the office, and then we'll finally see how much battery we use to go about 100 miles. And that way you'll know if this is a truck that you can use for your daily towing needs or commuting needs. All right, don't tell Andre, but we're gonna raid his secret stash of hitches, which he keeps up here at the ranch. So let me open up the garage here, and let's see what hitch we shall borrow from Andre to make this trailer work. Because he has a lot of hitches, and most of them are Gen Y. Thank you, Gen Y. All right, look at that. Look at this. This is like the Disneyland of hitches. So I think we go. What do you think, Alex? Does that look good?
That looks solid to me.
It looks solid, a drop hitch like this, yeah. Gen Y, look at that, yeah. That way we can adjust the height. We've got 3 different positions. So hopefully this will be the right hitch for the right job. We can try it in the lowest position first, see if that works. I like to keep these on there. I'm kind of anal about it, and the reason is I hate when the inside of the receiver starts to rust. It just bugs me. It just makes the truck look cheap and tatty. So it's nice when it's nice and, well, not clean, but not rusty in there. Now, if you're wondering, the Lightning, depending on how it's configured, can tow up to 10,000 pounds. We won't be towing that much today, but it's actually a pretty good rating. Now, if it were a traditional full-size truck, and what I mean by that is an internal combustion engine truck, you could go up to maybe almost 14 in some respects, but 10 is plenty, especially for most uses. There we go. All right, let's see if it works, or if we're going to have to raise it a little bit. Let's play a little game, A or B. Now, A is this quite exceptional trailer from Aluma, because it's aluminum. So not only is it much bigger, but it actually weighs less. So this trailer weighs around 2,000 pounds, and if you look at it, you could probably put the steel trailer on the aluminum trailer. Now, this iron bolt trailer is our old trailer, and it is heavier and much shorter. But the problem, of course, is that if you stick a ATV on top of this Aluma trailer, you'll have room for like 18 more, and it's just going to get silly. So I think for today, the right tool is the old iron bowl, because it's just much shorter and it'll look better. You know, you want to look good towing. You don't want to be like, hey, you know, I wore the wrong size pants today. All right, so this is always fun, trying to figure out if we got the right setting on this hitch, if it's too high or too low. Alex thinks this is the right. It's hard to say because we're not on level ground. So I think we'll try it on this height, and then when we get on level ground, if we've got it, you know, with the Carolina squat, then we've done it wrong. But let's give it a shot. I'll back it up a little bit, and we'll see if that's the right position.
A little more. A little more. Stop.
So here's the problem with Ford, and this has always been an issue. When they do their little receiver, it's this little bit of metal right there is always too long. So if you got big hooks like this, works just fine. But this hook, it's just too wide and too big, and it's just not going to work. There's just no no room. So I got to find a solution.
Brakes work.
Hazards.
Hazards work.
Okay, that means if the turn signals work, we're good.
Cool.
So Ford does a bunch of really clever stuff when you're trailering. Why do they call it trailering? Let's just call it towing. So one of the things that they do is we have an onboard scale, and onboard scales allows you to basically find out how much weight is in the bed of the truck, but you can also use it to make sure that you have basically 10% of the weight on the tail of the truck. So we've got 1,675 pounds of potential payload, and the rule of thumb is you usually want to be at 10% when you're towing. So 10% of the trailer weight, a 3,000 pound trailer would be about 300 pounds. And the darn thing about this is it doesn't give you any numbers, so it's really hard to tell how much weight you have on the bed of the truck. Add trailer. So what if we do that? What are we going to call this? Iron bowl. Let's call this the iron bowl. Iron bowl. Electric, yeah, default. Brake effort. Let's go with medium, why not? Next. Enter the length of the trailer. Good question. I gotta go measure the damn trailer. Hold on, I'll be right back. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Let's call it 22 feet. 23, 22. Come on, give me 2. There we go. Next. Width.
Back outside.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet. Call it 9 feet. I know it's wide, Alex, because I got really close to our little shed when I was pulling out. 8, 9 feet. There we go. Next. I was afraid of that. What would you say it is? 3?
2 feet. We'll call it.
Yeah, let's call it. Let's go 3.
3 feet.
Yeah. Wait, 3,000 pounds. We know that for sure.
That's 30,000 pounds.
Yeah, we don't want that. Like you could tow a 30,000 pound trailer with this. Come on, Ford. Confirm. Iron belt active. Close. All right. Blind spot and cross traffic alert deactivated when trailer is attached. Okay, so basically it doesn't measure or doesn't include the trailer when you've got blindside detection, which the Ram does, by the way. So the Ram automatically knows, because we had a Ram, how long that trailer is, and it includes it. But anyway, yeah. So let's see if our onboard scales are working. Continue mode. Is there different modes? I can just do continue. It's also 0. So maybe we need to be on a flat. We need to be someplace flat. There should be.
I think that's just saying 0 is here and 1675
oh, I see.
is here.
So
but
maybe
it doesn't give you an actual. It's just an estimate.
So basically, we've got this much payload left. So this is pretty useless.
But it's still weird that that's showing 0. That should show some weight.
Unless there's so very little weight on the. You know what? Let's do this, Alex. Let's load up the ATV, and then we'll see if that actually changes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So 81%. 23 miles, so let's see where we're at when we get back to the office. Now, this truck did come with this feature, Pro Trailer, and basically that allows you to back up a trailer more easily. As you know, if you're backing up a trailer, it's counterintuitive, so if you want to go left, you steer right. If you want to go right, you steer left. This allows you to steer in the same direction that you want to go. So if you want to go left, you go left. If you want to go right, you're right. But Alex, our videographer, said something clever. He just said basically it's just steering with a different knob. And with Ford system, you actually have to attach some stickers so that the truck knows where the trailer is at. You want to attach some stickers, Alex?
Nope, not at all. I'd rather just hold the steering wheel from the bottom, and then it's not counterintuitive. It just works the same direction.
So we won't be trying that today. Wah, 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 but he's right. I think one of the things, if you back up trailers a lot, it becomes pretty intuitive. So I'm going to do something that you probably wouldn't be doing when you're towing, and that is I'm going to floor it. I want to see just how heavy this trailer feels. The great thing about the truck is it's got just oodles of torque, so that's floored. Oh my God, it's still rocking and rolling. Oh, if you time that, I bet you that is close to 5 seconds, 0 to 60 with a 3,000 pound trailer. Used a lot of power, I'm sure, but well worth it. All right, maybe not a lot. It went down 1%. But you never know if you're out there, like, you know, pull up to a stop sign and there's some other contractor with a tractor. You may want to show them, you know, who's the boss contractor.
You'll beat him to the job site.
Exactly. Oh, it went back up to 81%. Look at that. So maybe it wasn't so much energy. Oh, now back down to 80. 500 horsepower, almost 800 pound-foot of torque would make this as good of a towing truck as a heavy-duty diesel, literally. And you know, I've got a 3,000 pound trailer behind me, and right now I can't even tell it's back there, except for the fact that it's very loud. So the other great thing about this truck is that it has independent suspension, unlike every other Ford F-150. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, a solid axle might be better for towing, but because of the weight of the battery pack, this truck weighs over 7,000 pounds, and it makes it just a dead steady platform for going down the road. So as a towing truck, at least, if you discount range, and I know that's a big deal, but if you discount range, it's really good. Like I say, it's about as good as towing with our Ram 2500. I do miss that diesel clatter a little bit and that deep diesel rumble when you floor it, but it's about that good. So a couple other lessons that I have learned. This truck doesn't have tow mirrors, but these actually work pretty well. But it does have what's called one pedal driving. So basically when you let off the gas, in the one pedal driving mode, it regens electricity. Now that's actually a really nice feature when towing, because it also slows you down in a kind of progressive and easy manner, so that I know exactly, you know, at what point I'm going to hit the stoplight ahead of me. Now you may be wondering, does having a 3,000 pound trailer on the back pushing you forward increase the amount of energy you're regenerating? And we did take this vehicle up the Ike Gauntlet and, more importantly, down it, and Andre found out that it does regen, you know, substantial amount of power, but whether it does any more when you've got a load pushing on it is still up in the air. My gut tells me it probably doesn't. But let's look at the numbers now that we're almost back at the office in this second part of this journey. We are down to 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour, so we have lost some of the efficiency. And in the next segment, what I'll do is I will actually reset the trip to, and then we'll know exactly what kind of number we're getting when we're actually towing something besides a trailer. And in terms of power usage, we're down to 73%. We started at 81, so that gives you 7% of battery. And going out there without the trailer, we use 6%. So this trailer is pretty negligible in terms of energy use. And I think the one thing that is true about towing with an electric truck is it's really not about the weight, but about the aerodynamic profile of what you're towing. So when we did that video, when we towed those big toy haulers, that was like towing a brick into the wind and just really cut down on the range. But this thing is, you know, pretty much flat, so it's not using a lot of aerodynamic drag to pull this along. So I think that's why we're at 73%. But now that we put the ATV on, we'll have a little bit more of a messier aeroflow, so it'll be interesting to see what it does when we actually have a load on the trailer. All right, time to load her up. Oh, the joy of electric trucks. It would be too hard, of course, wouldn't it, to have a tailgate that you have to manually open, or check this out, or more importantly, manually close. Look at that. All right, I was wrong. It's a Polaris Scrambler XP 1000, but S.
There's a part missing from that too. It's a Scrambler XP 1000 SLE.
Okay.
It's super long.
It's all-wheel drive, and of course, this is a sport Scrambler, which means it's not a utility, it's not a putt around town. It's one if you want to go and get a little bit of air or have a little bit of fun. And Alex, what should we do with this when we get up to the ranch? What's your thinking about this?
I think we should run it through Andre's pit, and I think we should see how an ATV compares to a side-by-side for kind of a utility recovery vehicle.
Oh, I see. So use it like to pull stuck vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good idea. Now, always safe, right? So if I'm gonna ride this, I'm gonna wear a helmet for all you kiddos out there. There's no roll bar, there's no roll protection. I was just on a Honda program where two journalists rolled the Talon. You know, if this rolls, it's going to eject you. Hopefully it won't roll loading it up on the trailer, but you know, I like to be safe. So, and I like to look dorky, Alex, so I think I've accomplished both.
Yeah? Not exactly the right helmet for the style of vehicle, but
it's the only one we have.
It'll keep you safe.
We have the other helmets up at the ranch, so this is the best we're going to do. Hold on. Yeah, no other helmets, dude. This is it. Yeah, I think Nathan has his like 1970s helmet, but I'd rather wear this.
I think you have a Lamborghini helmet in your office too.
On this thing, it is so soft. It's just
floaty?
Yeah, it's super floaty. And check this out, it's got a locking front and a rear diff, so you can lock both the front and the back. It's a really fun machine. We'll have to definitely have some fun with it at the ranch. All right, let's load her up. I should put it up all the way and see if we can get the scale to work in the truck, right?
Yeah.
Put as much weight on the...
Should we start the truck and see if we turn the scale on now and see if it changes when you go up?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. Okay, come on. There he goes. Wake up, truck. Wake up.
You really look goofy now, sitting in the Lightning with a helmet.
Hey, these are gonna come back. It's like I was on one of those, you know, in the 60s, right? They rode these crazy scooters around London, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had like all these Vespas with all these mirrors on, and I think they wore helmets like this.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like one of those dudes. All right, onboard scales. Come on. We're also now parked level on concrete. Okay, continue. Close, disclaimer. And where was that scale?
Switch this to scale.
Okay. Oh, we're still at 0. All right, let's
pull it on and see if it changes.
If it changes, yeah. Let's give some more tongue weight. So, what'd you say? This weighs about 800 and some pounds.
It's probably around 900 pounds, fully fueled, and all the fluids you need to get out on the trail.
Okay. That's about as far forward as we can get her. So it does work.
Yeah.
So we're at 400 pounds. Now the rule of thumb, like I said, is you want to have about 10% of your tongue weight be on the hitch. So let's say we're at 4,000 pounds, 400 pounds of tongue weight would be about right.
Yeah.
But I don't want to load it up that far forward.
No, we don't need to. We'll scoot it back.
It's not, you know, the reason you put that much weight on your tongue, right, is to eliminate trailer sway. But modern trucks, including this one, also help eliminate trailer sway. They've got built-in software that knows when the trailer is swaying. Let's go back to the scale.
The only thing I'm not sure about with this is it thinking this 400 pounds is just the weight of the ATV? Like, do we need to unhook the trailer, open the scale, and then hook the trailer up to get an accurate tongue reading?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but dude, let's go get some cappuccino. Hold on, let's go back to the. How do we go back to the vehicle? Is that? Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Now that's weird. Why did that turn all red? Right, that shouldn't be red. Basically, it said that we've just used up 1,675 pounds worth of payload. That's weird.
Well, that's probably because our tongue weight's over. So it's scooted all the way forward right now, so we are over on payload. So if we scoot that back to be over the axle of the trailer, this will probably come back down into the green.
But that we didn't put 1,600 pounds of payload on the back of the truck. Well, I don't know. Let's scoot it back. Let's see what that does. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, guys. You know, we do two kinds of videos, right? We do the kind where we know the facts, and then we do videos like this where we learn them as basically you go along with us. So we're learning as you go. So if you're wondering why we're kind of unsure of what this is doing, it's because this is the first time we're actually using it. So you're along on this trip with us. It's we like to say we do real world reviews. We don't just take what the manufacturers say. We actually test it, and that's what we're doing. And you're seeing the sausage being made. What do you think?
Could just go like pretty much over the axle.
Oh, that's better. So that seems more realistic. But then again, let's go to scale. So
I think you need to open the scale, then attach your trailer, then put your cargo on the trailer to know what your tongue weight is.
I think you're exactly right. I think we try to do it. We try to shortcut it, and I don't think it works. But I think it's telling you right now that it's got a couple, maybe 100 pounds.
Yeah, it's bouncing back between 0 and 100. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, well let's tie down the side by side, and let's see what this video is really about. That is how much energy we use taking it back up there and then bringing the truck back to the office. All right, Alex, we just had a little bit of lunch, and now we're about to do the third leg of our trip. We're at 72% of our battery. I reset trip 2 to 0, so we'll know how many miles per kilowatt hour we are doing. And as I get on the road, let's talk a little bit about, let me see if I can remember this right, okay? It's a Polaris Scrambler 1000 S LE. Did I say that right? Did I get all that right?
Sort of. You forgot the XP.
Oh, XP.
1000.
Okay. All right.
Almost there.
Almost there. So tell me a little bit about the machine, dude.
So it's kind of like the Raptor of ATVs. It's long travel suspension, super wide. It's the widest ATV you can get on the market. 89 horsepower, 952cc parallel twin, and cost is just under $18,000, $17,800.
I love the fact that we've got the Raptor of ATVs with us. I think when we get to the ranch, I'm going to have to put a proper helmet on and give it a little bit of a ride. Now, luckily we have a ranch, but if you don't have a ranch, our friends at Onyx Off-Road actually offer a really cool service where you can go and download maps of local trails, save them to your phone, so even if you're out of service, you can actually access them, and then you can find out where you want to take your, all right, I'm going to try this again, all right, Polaris Scrambler XP 1000 S LE.
There you go. Right. Very good.
Where you can ride your I'm gonna call it the Raptor of ATVs in Colorado, and best of all, they actually rate the trails, so you know how deep and dark you're gonna get when you're out there investigating the wonders of Colorado. so far, I gotta tell you, this has been an incredibly good towing truck. It's really hot out there, by the way. 100 degrees, dude. Check it out.
Real hot today.
Yeah, real hot. Do you want your chilled seats?
Why not? We have them.
Yeah, we have them. Look at that. Whoop. Look at that.
Nice. I thought that was a heated seat before.
It's a heated and cooled. Yeah, I think these are actually not just vented, but I think they're actually chilled. And the difference is, of course, I actually think these are more than just vented, they're actually chilled. And the difference, of course, is that with cooled seats, they actually use the air conditioner to blow cold air up your bum versus just ambient air, and that feels so refreshing. Yeah, next to us is a guy who has obviously a landscaping business, so he's got kind of one of those zero-turn riding mowers. He's got a regular lawnmower and some other piece of equipment. And I'm thinking that this is the kind of person who would be using an electric truck. I think if all that stuff weighs 4,000 pounds, that's a lot. And he's pulling it with an F-250 Super Duty, which obviously is cheaper than this Lightning. But, you know, I think that might be the kind of perfect use scenario for this, as opposed to, you know, trying to tow cross country with a giant toy hauler. We're almost back to the ranch with our ATV, and interestingly, we started out at 72% of the battery, and as you can see, we are now at 62%, so we have used the most battery in this third segment of getting the ATV to the ranch. Now, I did reset the trip pedometer, and as you can tell, we're at 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour, and for the combined trip, we're at 2 miles, and we've traveled about 67 miles in total today, a little bit over 2 hours. So, yeah, you know, the more weight you add, and the worse the aerodynamic profile of the thing you're towing, the more battery you use. But I gotta say, we've used like 20% of the battery, maybe a little bit more than 20%. We started at 88%, and we still have 62% of the battery left. So no range anxiety whatsoever. And even though it's extremely hot, and batteries don't like being hot, I think we're just doing really well. So let's unload this ATV and let's go for a little bit of an ATV ride. I gotta try it out. I can't wait. So we used finally the most power we have in one segment. 11% of the battery, we're at 61%. Trip one, we're at 2 miles per kilowatt hour, and then this last one, it reset itself. So we were at 1.6. That's this
trip. You want to go to trip B?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, okay.
Or trip 2.
Trip 1. Apparently, there's no trip.
Oh, you got to get out of. Yeah, go to trip instead of mine.
There you go. There we go. Trip. There you go. 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Once again, about 23 miles. So yeah, let's unload the side by side and test it out at the ranch. I think it's time we do a little bit of just basic tests. We'll save the Andres pit for later, but let me kind of just zip around on it and see what it's like. The Raptor of ATVs. That is such a hoot. The suspension travel is phenomenal. Alex, man, you gotta get this thing out here and have a little bit of fun with it, all right?
Yeah, we will for sure.
All right, well, I think we better finish the, the truck video. Once you finish the truck video, I'm gonna go for one more loop, okay? All right, see you in a bit, hold on.
This is actually the second time we've had one of these ATVs. We had one about a year ago that I rode on a lot, and it was a total blast. So without even stepping onto this new machine we just got, I know what kind of fun Roman's having out there, and I can't wait to get that ATV dirty for myself and bring it through the course and see what it's all about here at the ranch.
So the cows weren't scared, but the prairie dogs weren't happy.
Throwing a lot of dust there. I'm sure you filled some of their holes.
What a machine, man. What a machine. Holy cannoli. So I think I'd rather ride the ATV back. That was such a hoot. But there were like 4 warning signs. 1, wear a helmet. 2, two up. Interesting. 3, never drive it on roads. And 4 was don't drink and drive. So that on roads part would be bad, I suspect, because they're not titled. But anyway, let's finish off this last segment as we head back to the office now that we've delivered the Scrambler to the ranch. I reset trip 2, so we'll see what it is this time not towing in terms of miles per kilowatt hour. We're starting at 61%. Keep in mind that when we started the day, we were at 88%. Now it's just a question of getting back there and seeing how much battery we used and coming to a conclusion. So let's head on back to the office. Alright, so we're almost back to the office, and then I'll get you the numbers as soon as we park. But I started this video by talking about a test we did where we took this truck and compared it to a GMC V8 towing a heavy load. And a lot of people said that basically electric trucks don't work, or like I paraphrased it, electric trucks suck. But you know, there are more use case scenarios than just towing a heavy load across country, and that's what we wanted to show here. So let me give you one more fact before we wrap this up and then come to a conclusion. I charged this at home overnight, and when I brought it home it was almost empty, and to get it to 90% it cost about $17. So I thought that's an important number that you guys should be made aware of. So let's talk about kind of our final number. So we started at 88% and we're now down to 55% of the battery, which is 33%. We used 33%. We went a total of 91.3 miles. And we got 2.1 miles per kilowatt hour, and if I switch to trip 2 on this last leg, we were actually getting 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and that is, you know, towing about 4,000 pounds when we had the ATV and about 3,000 pounds when we had the trailer. So let me get out of the truck and let's come to a conclusion. The conclusion is there is no conclusion. I don't want to tie this up into a neat, tidy bow for you guys. I'll let you guys decide. You saw the numbers. You figure out if this truck would work for your needs when you're towing around town, and let me know in the comments below if this is something you could live with or if it's something that does not work, because I'm really curious, and hopefully when you guys leave your comments we'll know the answer. As always, this is Roman. Go to alltfl.com to see all of our on-road, off-road, car, what else do we got? And of course now videos. And thank you for watching this Taming Tumbleweed episode. As you saw in this video, the barn is going up, and pretty soon we're going to show you how that bad boy was built. See you next time. Ciao.